Hi, I'm Gene Cavassis. Tomtop sent me a great little guitar kit that is a Tele style body, hollow, semi-hollow body. It's got a basswood back, the banding around the edging with the veneering top. It's got a great little neck. It's got rosewood fretboard. I'm really happy with everything that came with this. We're going to get it all put together and show you how we do it. And we'll do it quick and easily, and you can do it as well. So stay tuned. We're going to start with fitting the neck into the body pocket. This guitar has a good, tight fit. That's great. We are going to use the metal plate, and I'm going to remove the plastic washer behind it and set the plate down and use that as a template as to where to locate my holes to drill through the body. After I've marked my holes, I'm going to remove the neck and drill the body. Using a cordless drill with a level on top, I'll use that to pre-drill the holes. Now, after drilling the holes, I'm going to fit the neck back on and clamp it down to the body. This will keep it snug so I can now drill into the neck to secure the screws. I'm using the side of the body to set my depth so I don't drill all the way through the neck and pre-drill these. Go ahead and set my screws down in just to lock the body on to the neck. This is a good snug fit. I'm very happy with this. Everything is tight alongside. So now I want to make sure that I locate the bridge plate in the straightest possible direction with the neck. So using a long straight edge, I'm going to run that down alongside of the neck past the bridge so that I can mark where it goes. I'll go ahead and set another one up on the other side, but after doing that I realized I could just use the same ruler and just marked it twice for each side. I'm going to put a mark down on the wood so I can kind of use that to align the bridge plate. Now the bridge plate, how far back it goes is already predetermined because of the cavity for the bridge pickup. So now, utilizing those lines, I can set the bridge plate down and align it with my marks to make sure that the plate is good and straight and square with the neck itself. Now, on this neck plate, it is designed with holes in the back for the strings to go through. But it also has on the back of the plate the same holes drilled through the plate as well. This is the option that you could use to do through body strings all the way through the body, and I've been told by a lot of people this helps with the sound into the guitar. So I'm going to use that, and utilizing a marking punch, I'm going to mark these holes so I can pre-drill through the body. Now I'm also going to mark where all of the mounting holes go and punch those ahead of time as well. I want to use my drill press to drill these holes through the body, but I noticed as soon as I set it in, it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do this without a drill press. But using that same drill with the level on top, I will go ahead and drill each of my string holes through here. Aligning that and drilling it the best I can, I will flip this over. And of course, coming through the backside, they're pretty straight. The last one's a little off on that, but I'm going to use these Fender string ferrules, and utilizing a piece of aluminum square tubing, I'm going to clamp this to the guitar body just a tad pad off the holes, and I'll use that to drill as a alignment and a jig to drill the countersink holes for the string ferrules. This actually worked really well and helped to straighten up and align those to the back. I've done a complete video separately on staining the guitar and using all water-based acrylic paints and an acrylic clear. I'll put a link in the top, and I hope you'll go and watch this after you've watched this whole video, just to give you a quick flash through of how I went about it. But like I say, there's a link to the video on the complete body finish. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really kind of excited about this neck. I'm really happy with this. This looks like it has to be real rosewood. I'm even seeing grain, the change in that, which I love that. I think that is really, really pretty. On the stock, I want to keep it my own design rather than anything of Fender. Even though the guitar definitely is a Telecaster design, but I think it's important to keep everything uniquely your own. So I'm going to do a simple design for the headstock, but basically try to create that as my own. Utilizing water-based acrylic paint, I mixed up the orange color, which is similar to the body, and I'm painting just the front of the headstock with this water-based paint. It will dry flat and very quickly, giving it a light sanding and also sanding off any of the excess that may have dripped off the edge of it. It cleans up very nicely. I'm going to now mask out the fretboard so that I can start to put a clear coat on the neck. Give it a light sanding, or a good sanding depending on how rough, but this was very smooth, and so I just gave it a sanding with 220, and then even a light one over what I had already painted on the front of this. Now, using the same clear that I used on the body, I'm using a Minwax polyacrylic or polycrylic clear. It's water-based, it's easy to go on, and dries in about 20 minutes, but I let it sit for about 2 hours, and then we'll come back and give it a light sanding before applying another coat. Now I ended up doing a total of about 5 coats of clear on this to get the finish that I wanted, but that's going to be up to you how many you use on this. And I gave it a light sanding between each coat. When it finished, I was actually pretty happy with how that dried. So now, utilizing linseed oil, I'm going to apply this to the fretboard. Now, I've had some people say that you should use lemon oil, and I think that would be good too, but I've never had any problem with the boiled linseed oil. It always gives a nice deep glow. Let it kind of soak in and then kind of wipe it or buff it off. Now, before I did all this, I also made a template of the headstock because I wanted to design a cover for the truss rod, and that would have my logo or signature on it, and cut this out separately. Once I had it cut out, I went back and set my template on the headstock to make sure that it looked the way I was hoping, and that's pretty much what I'm thinking of. So using a piece of white pickguard scrap that I had from another project, I'm tracing the template down, and then we'll cut this out. Give it a nice edge sanding. And now I'm utilizing a heat gun. I'm going to put a curve to the end up by the nut of the guitar, and this will form with the headstock and the body and give a nice custom look to it. Now, utilizing Photoshop graphics, I came in and designed the way I wanted the headstock plate done, and using a water slide decal material that you can buy online, I printed a copy of them, and they didn't print as well as I wanted, so I printed several copies, and I'll end up probably doing a little patchwork to get the finished work I want. I put a clear coat on it, and then came back and cut my pieces out, and using room temperature water, you drop the material in and it'll separate out and allow you to apply this to your material. Now, I'll put a link in the top to a video I did showing the complete process of this. Once it's done, I gave a small sanding to clean up the edging of it, and then using Croylon clear, I'll put a coat of clear over the top of this to help seal it in. I pre-drilled and countersunk 3 holes in it so that it can be screwed down to the headstock. And I'll set that aside for later. Now, we're going to start on doing the copper shielding for the guitar body. I'll put a link below in the description below to this copper shielding. I got it from Amazon. There's enough to do several guitars from this, and it's very reasonable, so I highly recommend it. The copper has a sticky back on it, and it's very thin, so cutting out a piece, I can literally kind of press my finger down and trace the outline of the pickup cavity that I'll need to cut out. Regular scissors will work fine on this. The material's not real heavy, and you peel it off, kind of watch that it doesn't roll up on the back of itself like it did there, because then you got to peel it all back. But it's pretty easy to work with, and was able to set it down into the cavity and then just kind of rub it down flat. The 2-inch width of the copper is almost perfect to just cut right down the center to use as the sides to shield the edging around the pickup cavity. Once you get it pushed down, you can also, any excess, fold over the edge to help make contact with either the back of the pick guard or the pickup plate, or even the bridge. Using that same technique of just pressing around to get my template shape of the pickup cavity. This will help to insulate the electronics in the guitar, the pickup, so that you don't get that hum that sometimes you hear from a amplifier if a guitar is not properly grounded or properly shielded. Control cavity. We're ready to go. This laid down nice and flat and did a very clean look to it, and I think it's going to work really well. Now I'm ready to put those string ferrules into the guitar body. I'll put a link below as to where you can pick these up. They're very inexpensive. And after putting a clear coats onto the guitar, they're a little snug, but that's okay. You just give them a light tap and they tap right in. And I want them to be good and snug. Going to work out fine. Now, I picked up a pick guard off of Amazon, and I have to do a little trimming, custom trimming around to make sure that it fits around the bridge pickup and around the control plate. And I can trim out or file out or use a Dremel style tool, rotary, to clean that up. And I think I've got a good fit that I'm happy with there. So now we're going to fit the neck onto the guitar. We still have that nice clean fit, and utilizing the plate, I'll set the screws in. Remember, everything was pre-drilled. And that's a good snug fit. Now I'm going to set the springs and the screws onto the bridge pickup. This will help for you to be able to adjust the pickup on the bridge up and down to help to get it closer or further away from the strings as you do your setup on the guitar. I'll feed the wire through the cavity that goes to the control plate. And then I downloaded a set of wiring diagrams because it did not come with any kind of instructions. So I found some on Google and was able to print them out and get the basic wiring diagram. Now, on the three-way switch, I wanted to come and make sure I had in the back position would pick up the bridge. So you would set your wire to that, and then in the middle position you would also jump your bridge and the neck wire, and then to the back the same with the neck and the bridge and the neck. And if that doesn't confuse you, I don't know what will. So soldering the pickup wires to the three-way switch. And finishing up the soldering. And I always use a rag to protect the body when soldering in case you get a pop or something. Now, aligning everything up, the holes on the bridge were pre-marked, including the holes, of course, going through for the strings as well. But they were marked, so now I came in and did my pre-drill, or my drilling of the holes. Using some candle wax, I can set the screws in and just hand screw those in. I also drilled for the pick guard, and once again using a little bit of candle wax to help set the screws through the body and get a better bite. Now I'm ready to assemble the tuning keys. I'll speed this up a little bit because it's just kind of a tedious, long process. And then on the back side you have a very small screw set for each of those I pre-drilled, and once again using a little bit of candle wax on each of the screws helped to set and align each of those down tight. Now putting on the truss rod cover that I made for that, pre-drilling those holes in and setting those kind of just does a nicer finishing touch to the design. Now I used 1 drop of wood glue to set the nut down on. The 1 drop will help hold it into place, but if you ever need to replace it, you only have to just give it a slight tap. Now I bought strings. You could use the strings that come with the kit, but I always feel it's better to use a good quality guitar strings, and they don't cost that much. Now using the through body technique on this, I set all the strings into the string ferrules and through the guitar. Once those are all through the guitar and making sure that you've got them tight and snugged into those string ferrules on the back, you can start setting your wires, strings into the tuners. I always go about 2 tuning keys past the one you're using to trim the wire, and that gives you enough to still wrap it around the tuning peg, but keep it short enough to be manageable. Once all the strings are on, I get them tightened up and we're ready to test it out. I want to give you a chance to hear how the guitar sounds or plays. I'm really happy with it turned out, and using the 3-way switch, the switch all the way to the back is the bridge pickup. So here's how it sounds. Then moving to the middle switch, which is the bridge and the neck pickup. And then moving all the way to the forward position, which is the neck pickup, which in this guitar has the double humbucker. So anyway, I hope this gives you a basic idea of how the guitar sounds, and really enjoyed building it, and I'll see you soon.